Hello and welcome to the Weekend Edition. I'm Dr. Kingori. We have a great show lined up for you. One of our guests for tonight is a lady taking Kenya to the world as far as comedy is concerned. She actually recently landed a gig with Comedy Central, Ilea US, for the amazing work she's doing online. Now, one thing that stands out from her content is the concept of saying what people are afraid to say.
As my birthday approaches, I will not be accepting cards. If you want to pass on a beautiful message, send me a text on WhatsApp. My PayPal is still at 0. I'm not sure if it's a mistake. I know I haven't gotten you a gift before, but why are you dwelling on the past? Move on. Move on. Move on.
Mimi mtu akiniambia hivyo sijui tunaweza ongea nini after that. But Elsa Majimbo is in the house. Also in studio is a man who needs no introduction. He is regarded in some areas as Mr. Say It As It Is. Andrew Kibe is in the house.
He's in the house.
Asante sana. I also have great news from our friends Telkom Kenya. Ile deal yetu ya usiku sako imestretchiwa. Now the night bundles are now active from as early as 10 p.m. Hakuna kungoja cha sijui saa 6 usiku. Hakuna. Hii ni good news for usiku sako members kwa sababu saa 4 sasa hiyo ni asubuhi. I'll be sharing more details on that in a bit. Na usisahau pia niko na credo ya 2,000 nataka kukupea before the end of this first part of the show. But first, the chairman of the men's conference, Mzee Kibor, has asked the government to return his gun, claiming that his life is in danger because of his children. Now, for those who don't know the story, the 88-year-old's gun was taken after he was caught on camera shooting at his son. Hii clip ilipea Mzee Kibor gangster points mob. Personally, I'm happy no one was injured in the incident, but it's interesting because I know this is not the first time Wakenya wanaona video ya babu akishoot kijana. Now, but the shocking thing about this particular incident ni ati huyo ni mtoto wake. But hiyo mimi nimesema. Mzee Kibor recently claimed that he is not, he does not believe actually that those children are his. And he actually wants a DNA test. And if it's true that those are not his children, the clip we just played then proves that Mzee Kibor is right. You all saw him take a shot, akamisi mtoto. Now, this will be a tricky case for Mzee Kibor though. Proving that your children want to kill you in this country is a long shot, mazi. Nani hajaisikia mama akiteta akisema, hey! Nani aliweka majani chai kwa maji yangu ya kuoga? Watoto wataniua. Ni tricky. Every parent says that. Now, but Mzee Kibor has been in the headlines for very interesting reasons. One of them being the divorce from his third wife back in 2018. And that was after 52 years of marriage. Now, this introduces a new perspective. Ukisikia mtu amekaa 52 years kwa marriage ndio amue, yapana, hii noma. That's patience. Marriage is for the strong. Eunice Njeri alionea 18 na kaiondokea huko nje ya Metropolitan. Eunice Njeri alisikia tu, do you take Isaac? That was it. In other news, after they were found guilty of fraud in the 300 million Bob Mays scandal, Sirisia MP John Waluke and his business associate Grace Wahungu were last week sentenced to 7 years in prison or a combined fine of 2.1 billion shillings. On her part, Grace Wahungu allegedly raised 500 million shillings from her family WhatsApp group in just 2 hours. 500 million shillings in 2 hours just to evade a jail term. Enya wa Kenya ni different. Mulisikia option akina Makoha walipea judge vile aliwatisha na fine ya 200k.
200,000.
Laki mbili.
Laki mbili.
Munaongea kuhusu laki?
Laki mbili.
Si afasali mtu nyonge pasi. Afasali mtu nyonge.
Siji mbona wazee wajaita Makoha manki after hiyo kitu ilienda viral. But Waluke on his part ameunda pay bill. Wakenya wacheze kama wao, and from the list I've seen circulating on social media, Wakenya washam support na 87 bob yake moto. Now, mi bado nimekuwa mapo kwa family group ya WhatsApp inachanga 500 million shillings in 2 hours. Na ni fine. Umaiwe kwa WhatsApp group ya matanga na chenye watu wanachanga huko ni memes. Wapendwa najua sijatoa kitu, lakini hiyo ndio meme ya mwisho nilitumia marehemu na ilimuua. Najua hata nyinyi itawamaliza. Now, on the positive though, in this country we have a WhatsApp group that can raise 500 million shillings in 2 hours. Why is the treasury struggling to raise 2.7 trillion shillings in 1 year? Why don't they just add the CS to that WhatsApp group? Hii budget tunaweza fungana wiki moja. Now that said, kuna watu wanashuku hii credo tunapeana kama ni ya ukweli. Na I'll tell you what, hii credo mtu yote anaweza pata as long as uko na line ya Telcom. It only depends on how fast you can type. Now our last episode winner alikuwa anaitwa David Thairo. Alicheza kama yeye, nikacheza kama mimi. Nilimuongeza credo ya thao as soon as he provided proof that ni yeye ameipata. Now the instruction was very simple. Weka credo, alafu tuma screenshot ya kuconfirm imeingia kwa simu yako ni kuongeze thao. Mimi nilipata screenshot za wasee, wana dial number, wanaweka hiyo namba vizuri, alafu badala ya kuload airtime ingie kwa simu yako, msee ana screenshot ananitumia. Wa Kenya manzi. But then again, Telcom ni nani? Ofa ya usiku sako bado inaendelea na bado niko na credo ya kupeana. Of course, vile sema courtesy of Telcom Kenya. Na wale hawajui usiku sako ni nini, I'm talking about 5 GB at 50 bob only, ama 700 MBs daily, coming with an extra 700 MB at night, valid from 10 p.m. So just dial *544# on your Telcom line and get to enjoy this offer. Credo yenye napeana leo, here are the instructions. There is 10 digits between number 7 and number 8. I'll be reading out the 10 digits before the end of this first part of the show, so karada. Watu wangu wa YouTube, your excellencies, the notification gang, your request has been received. Na nashughulikia kwanza naongea na wasi wa Telcom to assort a special package. Now, I'm very curious to know the real difference between rudeness, telling it like it is, and being savage. Now, kuna kitu kwanza kwa hizi corridors za mtandao ya questions well answered. Ati, naona umepika mayai, umebai. Ay, hapana, hizi nimetaga. Now, first, is that being rude? Is that being savage? Is that telling it like it is? Allow me to extend this conversation to the second part of the show with our guests, Andrew Kibe and Elsa Majimbo, a perfect combination for this topic. But before that, I owe you 2,000 bob worth of Telcom airtime. There is 10 digits between number 7 and number 8 to make up the 12 digits in 1,000 bob airtime. Now, the 10 digits are Karada, 8, 7, 7, 1, 6, 0, 3, 6, 0, 3. Ntarudia tena. The 10 digits are 8, 7, 7, 1, 6, 0, 3, 6, 0, 3. Load it up. Ikiingia kwa simu yako, send me a screenshot, alafu na kuongeza thao ingine juu. Now, see you guys on the other end of this short commercial break. Welcome back to the weekend edition. I'm Dr. Kingore. I believe our guest for tonight wanaweza ni allow kusema leo tuko na wenda wazimu wawili in studio. Not as in a polite way, that's not rude. But then we are talking about the line between rudeness, savagery, na telling it like it is. And in studio tuko na Andrew Kibe. Karibu sana. Sawa. We also have her ladyship, Elsa Majimbo, also in the house.
The one and only.
Karibuni sana. What is the end game of saying things the way you do? Like, do you want to hurt someone? Is it a special way of communication?
I just want to make things clear. The way I'd say, I have a type, and my type, it's rich. You know, that's why.
Keep going. Huh?
Like, what I expect from that is that I expect someone who is broke or someone who doesn't have money not to approach me.
Okay.
So I tell you what I expect.
So is that you though?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's rich? Like, what are the standards of rich?
First of all, my dowry is $4 million. If you're able to afford that.
Look at this crazy woman. Crazy person.
That is her truth, Kibe. What is your problem?
This is madness.
Why is it madness?
Nairobi squeezy.
How is it madness?
You afford, you refuse to leave.
Remain single.
Problem yako na msichana akijua value yake ni.
Why the are women putting a value on themselves like property?
Every man has.
So when I pick you up, mimi nikikuchukua niseme Elsa ni demu yangu. You think I'll ever allow you to go anywhere if I've paid $4 million for your dowry? I'll be coming to the house. You have to come crawling to me. Yeah.
Kibe,
if I ever even put even 10,000 shillings on you.
Kibe,
respect yourself, Elsa.
No. Kibe, do you prefer Elsa akikwambia kama dem, no, mimi my type is rich, simple. Yeah. Versus dating someone who is pretending not to like people for money,
Kengori,
but they really do like you for money.
Kengori,
yes.
How old are you?
Myself, third floor.
Tuseme uko 30 sahi. Let's give you the lowest limit
somewhere around the third floor.
So you're 30 years one day. The lowest.
Kwenda.
Sikiza. Wewe saini kukuliza unataka dem anakaaje. Utani describe ya dem.
Yes.
Utani describe ya dem pale anatoka.
Yes.
Utani describe ya dem vile yeye uishi. You'll describe to me the chick that you want based on her mannerisms and her looks.
Okay.
Right? Now, these women here don't want to describe men based on their mannerisms and their looks. They want to describe them based on what?
But that's
What is this? What is this? So,
Aki ungetoa hiyo kitu 100.
Ingebaki tu kwa mfuko by the way.
Kuna excuse poa.
COVID
Kuna COVID.
But
Why don't you nakuelewa, but why don't you appreciate honesty? Like hiyo ni honest ya mtu anakuambia ni aje mimi napenda do. Simple. That's not rude. That's knowing your value.
How honest can you be with somebody? Elsa, let me ask you. If I told you, if I go to eat, I don't wash my hands, you'd be like, what? When I go see where I don't do this, you'd be like, what? Because where you're coming from, your environment dictates who you are. You're not coming to me straight up. You're coming to me based on who you know and what you know. True or not true? Ndio kwa maana kuna madem unaweza peleka mahali, dem anaje kutumia knife and fork and knife.
Yes.
Na kuna dem anaenda achukue motura na akule straight.
Yes.
So you must know where you're coming from.
Kuna mademu kula motura na fork.
Okay, yes, so
Wenye anakulanga na fork na knife akulangi mtura. Sasa
yeah, an analogy I just make sense. Right?
But you see what he's saying? He's saying there's someone who will fork a knife. So me, I've been raised just in a nice home, in a nice house. And then now you shift on to someone who doesn't have money. You know, you always...
It's not money, it's manners. It's where you're coming from, it's not money. Focus. It cannot be money because money doesn't have money. Look at someone like Mike Sonko. Would you go out with Mike Sonko? No, you wouldn't because Mike Sonko has the money but doesn't have the manners that you want, right?
Okay, true.
Yeah.
Nimekutana na kelele fulani ati you might have been a pastor somewhere.
Might. I did. I read. So, listen to this story. So, I had a friend of mine who was a pastor. So, I went to him and I told him, listen, I want to know about all this church and the Bible and whatever. Teach me. So, he taught me for a while and told me this is how you're going to go. And then I told him one day, can you open a church? Because I think you have so much information. At that time, nilikuwa na kakitu. So, nikamrushia.
So, hii machungu yote ni juu ya kusoma.
Kiza story, wacha story mob. Nikamrushia nikamwambia fungua church, akafungua church, tukafungua church, we went to Bidini and I hoped one day that these guys would give me a chance to be what?
A pastor.
A pastor.
Because you contributed.
Because I contributed, nilikuwa nimetoa do, nilikuwa nisha learn Bible, but they didn't think I was good enough. So I never was a pastor, but I should have become. Because I mean, in this corn game, I think I would be really good.
So that's where the bitterness comes from.
It's not bitterness.
But how else do you explain?
Why would you call it bitterness?
Umesema vizuri, you would have been a pastor. So if these guys had given you a chance, you would have been a preacher by now. You would have been the Pastor Nganga of today.
Oh yeah, I was telling you, come I touch you, give me 3,000 bob.
Plant your seeds.
I can see your future. 310 shillings.
What do you consider rude?
I don't think I consider a lot of things rude. I think like simple, basic manners. Like if you hit me and you don't say sorry, I don't think it's saying the truth. Yeah. Unanigonga na unapita. I mean, what's that?
Oh.
So rude is...
No. It's not that. Not what Kibe.
No, yeah.
No, sio hiyo ya Kibe.
Sorry.
Wacha.
Oh, sorry.
Sawa. Alikuwa anamaliza point.
Okay,
Yeah, for me rude is just like basic manners you should have. Like if you don't have, like you come for a date late.
Yes.
You don't say you're sorry you didn't give an explanation. That's hella rude.
Yes.
But I don't think the truth is necessarily rude until it's stretched out.
Okay.
Our example over here.
But that doesn't change what it is. It is the truth.
Yeah, it's the truth. But when it's stretched out a bit too much, it becomes rude.
The bottom line is, it's still the truth.
Yeah.
Mbona upakejiwe nicely? As in, is it, inaitwaje, where did this idea of consumption of truth come from?
Mafilo, just keep someone's feelings.
Elsa, let me ask you a question. If, for example, me and you are seeing each other. It's not serious, right? But you're also seeing other people, right? This is happening in Nairobi. Usijifanye ni kama umestuka. Unaweza kuona na dem anaona msee mwingine, ama unaweza kuona na msee anaona dem mwingine.
Hakuna dem akona mtu mmoja Kibe.
Hakuna. Even married women, they all have somebody on the side. Everybody has somebody on the side.
That's propaganda.
Let's agree.
The cycle. Inaitwaje the environment where utoka.
Please, in Nairobi and Kenya, +254. I hope you guys can listen to me. Let's agree that everybody has somebody on the side. Hiyo tukiagree tutaongea. Kama tuwezi ongea hiyo, afadhali niishie.
But
there's nobody who doesn't have somebody on the side.
What's your evidence ya kucluster kila mtu pamoja?
Aya basi nyinyi hamtaki kwa cluster mwende church mkaombe. Everybody else we have somebody on the side. Now if you are, for example, want to tell your wife, do you have a wife?
Myself? I have a lady.
So you are single, right? So
No, I'm not. I have a lady. There's a lady in my life. See stages.
Sharia house
girlfriend, wife.
Sharia house wanajua?
Hatujafika hapo bana.
Kama Sharia house hawajui, you are single as I am. Now, if for example you go to tell the chick that you have, my girlfriend, today I met Elsa and oh my God, that chick is hot as she's sexy. I can't even wait to see her again. How would things be with your girlfriend?
All examples za Kibe zinakuanga kwa relationships. If you are dating someone, for example, and this person cheats on you and you find out 5 years later, versus this person coming out and talking about, Nyaje, I like you but I cheat.
Mtu tu aniambie, I get the information straight up. Mi niende zangu. I don't believe in cheating. Like if you have feelings for someone, you won't cheat. So me, I don't believe in that.
You don't believe in Kibe's
nope.
book of...
I believe that's romance.
If for example today, I go to Kosewa, it's called Ranalos.
Yes.
Right? I go to Ranalos. And I find Ranalos has been closed. Will I eat that day or not? Or will I go home and cry about Ranalos?
Kibe, I understand that you are the brand ambassador for cheating, but in in this context...
will I go eat somewhere else or not? Let me give you a real story. A few years back, the woman I thought who would be my wife, she passed on. Okay? She died. She was alive, and then now she's dead. Na amewachana nini? Na mtoi moja. So nifanye nini? Alive, dead. Mtoi tuko naye. So nifanye nini? So niendelea na mtoi, like, I don't know, what do you understand?
Unajua, you can't argue. I can't
You can't argue with that because it's a very sad story.
No, not
it's a very sad story,
sad.
and then you don't know how to react to it. But what I'm trying to tell you is this: like men, when the wife passes on, what do? 1 year down the road, this guy already has a chile, right? Because you cannot stop the train from moving. This thing has to keep moving. My feelings never stop from moving. So either you are in this mix, but this thing is moving.
Isn't that why in church, when people go, when people do a wedding, till death do you part?
Yeah, which is wrong. Which is wrong because it's a very manipulative sentence. What do you mean till death do us part? Oh, uende ukuwe na msemo mwingine huko nje. Till death do us part, bro. Unaget? Mimi nienda nikuwe na demu mwingine huko nje. Till death do us part. The day you stop feeling the same for me like I feel for you. You get what I mean? We're putting each other under so much pressure with this marriage thing, and oh my God, you must do this for me, and oh my God, you must be exactly the way I am to you.
No, let me ask you a question, Kibe.
Yeah.
You've told us your story, very touching story. But
then it's a very small story. Yes. Ndo expandia mtalia hapa hivi mtakuwa Kibe. Wife died.
I can't.
The question is, before that incident happened, did you hold this philosophy that you still have to date? Exactly.
Hey,
Thank you.
Moto imeingia.
No, ushajibu.
You already answered the question.
I think you are a cocktail of two things that happened to you from this conversation.
Okay.
Hiyo story ya kurushwa kanisa wa kukuweka pasta na hii story this.
You think those are the only two stories that define me?
What else defines you?
How would you have two stories that define you?
From what Mimi, that's enough to define someone.
Okay. Let's look at it. What's the one thing that defined you in your life, Elsa? Is it class 8 when you were leaving and this boy slapped you and you were like, oh my God, I'll never ever look at at men the same?
Church.
What happened?
They gave me morals and values that I hold.
Did they tell you that Solomon had 300 wives and 600 concubines?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, but you're coming out moral saying one man, one woman. But Solomon, David, did they tell you that David used to sleep with his soldiers' wives?
But they also said that David was a sinner. Unaget? So that's it. In
As long
Amanisha,
as
the
you-
church does not defend David's actions in that context.
And in the New Testament, the Bible says that David was a man after God's own heart. Remember, David is a guy who, when he was on his deathbed, right, they brought in akachile to him, kuona kama atam. Na bila alikuwa sababu kasema yenyewe David anakufa.
Wait,
Right?
Kibe, it's a shame.
So if that's
Kibe.
the Bible as you guys are reading,
No, Kibe.
alafu
It's a
nataka
shame.
kuniambia sijui nini.
It's a shame.
Kwani serious. There are no morals, there are no values.
No, it's
we're
a
all
shame.
living the life like we're all living.
Kibe, it's a shame that in the Bible story of Solomon...
Oh, sorry, but...
No, it's fine. It's a shame that in the Bible story of Solomon, between wisdom and women, you left with 700 women and
left with the
300
women.
concubines.
Do you understand what it means to have 1,000 women? Right? Now,
that
let's take for example, you have 1,000 women.
3 years before Pigelap, but yes, that's
1,000
what it
women.
means.
That's 365 days a year.
Yes.
Right? 1,000 women. Now, if you were to decide to cross with all of them, it will take you maybe 6 years. Okay, miss siku moja ya kuresearch. Sindio?
Sasa ona wakati watu walikuwa wanaambiwa Solomon aliamshwa na wisdom enough to keep 1,000 women, wewe uliangalia zile the number of time it will take you to handle 1,000 women.
Of course.
Kibe ni nini?
Let's be logical. Sawa, I've stopped. No more questions.
Wow.
Hii mambo ya ati you are immune to sensitivity.
I'm just emotionally tougher than the average person. Like, I wouldn't care. Like, if you said something about me, not people around me, I wouldn't really give it much thought, you know. But some other people will think about it for weeks on end. For me, it's just like, whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just Andrew being Andrew.
Sawa. Before tuachilie, please follow Elsa Majimbo on Twitter. Follow her content on Instagram. Na wapi kwingine umeshikilia I just know Twitter, wewe ni mama yao.
YouTube ni mbaya, like inakuanga very low quality, but pia unaweza subscribe like.
Unaweza subscribe. Si ndio? Andrew ametoka radio. Watu wanakupata wapi tena?
Watanipata pale watanipata jo. If you see my face, just press play.
Wakikutana na wewe kwa barabara.
Wherever.
Ama unarudi radio. Unajua kuna somo.
But then naweza penda kurudi radio kama naweza toa restrictions kwa radio.
Oh, so noma yako ni restrictions.
Sana.
Hiyo tu ndio noma yako.
That's it, imagine. I'm such a simple guy. Restrictions
You're shocked.
keep me away.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah. I can't stand restrictions. I can't stand rules.
Wewe na watu wanapoteza job time ya COVID, wewe unaimba restrictions.
Tukufe kama tunakufa kwani nini? Kwani mimi ndo wa kwanza kukufa? Die. If you're going to die, you die. It doesn't matter. You've lost your job, die. Hata Jarama ame lose job juzi, amekufa.
Si watu wanasema yeye anaenda job yako.
Wacha aenda achukue job yangu alafu tuone vile atafanya. But don't get too emotionally connected about two things. Okay? Yes, because me when I decided I'm leaving radio, it's because radio was nonsense to me at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're not going to die. Kingoni, if you leave this job today, utakufa.
Mimi unajua mimi sina emotional attachment na job.
You should never ever have emotional attachment to a job, even to a human being. Okay? So when it's time to leave, then you can leave and be comfortable with the decision that you've made. Yes.
Wazi. Final word, Elsa, kwa mafans wako?
Meeting Andrew was the most, I think...
Extra.
This is the most roller coaster of experiences. That's literally my signing off. I think, wow. Wow.
Niku summarize here, that is, if Kisirani was a person.
If Kisirani was a person, he's amazing. He's fantastic.
Wewe siku moja kama, kwanza Andrew doesn't believe in God. That's a funny thing. Doesn't believe God.
One day we'll have that discussion.
Ni sawa. But sasa ile
mniambie nyinyi mna believe na God mgani?
Alafu ile siku moja hiyo siku ya nini? Hiyo siku ya mwisho 1,000 years to come, ile watu tukiangalia huko kwa balcony mkichomeka.
But let me ask you, Kingori.
Yes.
One last question, even
Yes.
for you, Elsa. You have some relatives you don't like. True or true?
True.
Maybe even a mother or father you don't like. Maybe even your father is abusive and you can't stand him. Everybody just take a second, wacheni makasiriko, relax. Alafu when the church, uambue, for the rest of eternity, you shall go and be with your family in heaven and be with this abusive husband, father or husband or whatever it is, and be a happy family. How is that going to happen? Mimi nilikuwa na grandmother moja mzii. Mother nikamuona tena. I would probably punch her in the throat. And she was my grandmother. I don't want to see her. Don't tell me I'll go to heaven and be with the same woman who was evil. Let's be serious about some of the things we're taking here in Africa. Tunaitikia vitu zingine za upuzi hapa Afrika sana.
As a wise man once sang, anamuogopa Mungu pekee. I think Andrew Kibe has never played that song on radio, and if he did, I don't think atameisikiza hizo lyrics. Mazia, asanteni sana kwa come show.
Thank you, man.
But anyway, hata kama ni nini, minus mtu akitoa profanity kwa vitu unasema, kuna vitu zingine unasema zina make sense kabisa.
Like 1%.
You are a woke person.
You've just remove some of the words you're saying. You make sense.
Ile siku ataanza kupeana royalties for the F word, you'll be the richest Kenyan. Otherwise, that's it for the weekend edition. See you next time. My name is Dr. Kingori.